My name's Phil. I'm assistant head of year at a secondary school, and I've had eczema the majority of my life from a young kid. Now it's almost non-existent. Now I've almost grown out of it, and things have improved massively. But I've still got mild eczema, but I've had it for the best part of probably 30 years. My eczema, when I was a child, it really affected my schooling. So I was homeschooled for 2 years. My eczema was so bad that I just couldn't function at school, couldn't concentrate. I was a sick child. I was really sick, really ill. So the eczema, it was, when people think of eczema, they think, a bit of a red rash on your skin that's a bit itchy. But, my eczema became more than just a skin condition. I felt really ill, had a lot of infections. The doctors, they didn't know what to do with me in Birmingham, tried everything, didn't work. So they had to send me to London, which I'll probably talk about a bit more later. So I think it was about year 4 and 5. I missed the majority of that. So I had a teacher that would come round, sit with me. But even that, I was homeschooled, but I wasn't really homeschooled. Again, I just could not concentrate. I do remember my tutor, he just held me in his arms, and I was sobbing my eyes out because I could not work. I remember we were doing sort of history, and my skin was so fiery, my skin was so bad, it was weeping, it was oozing. I had bandages on. It was a bit of a nightmare, to be honest. So I was out of education for 2 years. Yeah, it really affected me as a child. The summertime was probably the worst. The pollen, the grass, the heat. It was probably the worst season for somebody with severe eczema. I had, around the age of 12, 13, I was undergoing PUVA treatment. So that's UV light treatment. It's basically like a sunbed, but you're in there for a whole hour, standing up. I had to wear my cap and glasses to protect me from natural light. But I remember my lips used to swell quite badly. With eczema, anywhere on your body everywhere on your body usually is sensitive. So my lips used to swell really bad, cracks, and used to pus as well, really bad. And I remember a girl in year 11, she just came up to me. She almost held my head and said, "Ian, look at this kid, look at his face." And I was distraught. That was horrible. That was one incident in secondary school. But even with that, my friend who was with me, he just put his arm around me and said, "Come on, Phil, don't worry about it. I got you. I'll support you." So I still had a great support network. That was one person out of hundreds of people who I've come across. The PUVA treatment for me personally was probably the best. In twofold, it was the most effective treatment, and it was the most enjoyable treatment. You got to kick back and relax for an hour on a sunbed. I had the goggles on, I had my briefs on, I was ready to go. So I was at the Birmingham Children's Hospital, but I had to do PUVA treatment at St Thomas's in London, if you know that. So St Thomas's, I had to go there to have my PUVA treatment. I think it was every week, or was it 3 days a week? The dosage was intense, put it that way. So the PUVA treatment, it was a really nice experience, really relaxing. So sunbed effectively. It was really soothing on the skin, It wasn't like wet wraps. We used to call them wet wraps, which were like wet bandages. It wasn't anything like that, which was very uncomfortable. It wasn't a certain cream which made the skin itch, sting or anything like that. But Puva treatment for me was the most relaxing and enjoyable treatment I've ever had. It cleared up my skin. It really cleared up my skin. I never looked back after the UV light treatment. That and years of prayer, us being a devout Christian family, years of prayer with that UV light treatment, that was the breakthrough. It really was. But for me, thankfully, and thank God it worked for me, the Puva treatment. In my years working in education, I haven't come across many people with eczema, but in this particular school I'm at the moment, there is a student with eczema, and I really can relate to them, even the details, just you've got the school uniform and you got the shirt, just underneath the shirt line you can see the bandages, even things like that, where the wrists are, you can see the bandages coming out. It's those little details that really resonate with me. With eczema, you feel everything with eczema. You feel everything. So what reminds me, suffering with eczema now, looking back, I can still feel it now. And looking at this particular child, I can feel what he's feeling. I can feel what he's struggling with. I can feel what is making him feel discomfort. So my heart goes out to this particular student. But, I go and see him and have a chat. I encourage him. I say, look, one day you will get through this. You have to believe you will get through it. Because as people listening to this who suffer with eczema, there's days where you think this eczema is never ever going to go away. But you have to believe that it will. And I just encourage, this particular student with this, and just any other student really who's suffering with some sort of illness. Pastorally, I can relate to them. I can understand. I haven't come across many students who have missed time off school for skin disease, but equally in education, the students that miss time off school because of mental health as well. They can't fully function in a school environment, so they have to work from home. And it's about being understanding of that and being sensitive to that as well. So definitely my experience with eczema helps in my day job, as an assistant head of year. There's a lot I've taken from suffering with eczema. It kind of shapes you. It really does shape you and your outlook on life.